Yeah!
It's the Cool Nerd Beat Show. That's Tess.
And that's Sasha.
And we're live on idobi Radio. We're bi-coastal today, which is always a little bit of a bummer because we're not together.
You're here in spirit, and you're here on
And I'm
the
queer.
monitor. I can see your beautiful face.
Yes, I could see your beautiful face as well. I'm in New Jersey. I'm having some doctor stuff happen. But by the time I'm going to be back in LA, TS is going to be in Florida doing Florida stuff.
Wrestling
Trying that.
gators.
Yeah, smoking that Florida weed.
Oh, man. I'm trying to have some of that Jungle Boys delivered to my cabana when I'm in Florida.
Yeah, you gotta let me know if you get it to happen. I'm trying to find a makeshift. I'm in my brother-in-law's office den. Don't tell him I'm smoking weed in his office. And I'm trying to find a makeshift ashtray. I've been using all sorts of things because this isn't a smoking household, except for my mom when she comes to visit. But there's no ashtrays around here.
No empty beer bottles, Coke cans.
This isn't a frat house. It's a family.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have been there. Your your sister and your brother-in-law are civilized people. I would just
They
look
really
over.
are.
I would just look over, and I could find the nearest empty bottle like quickly in my place, and I would ash in there. I wouldn't ash on the floor because I'm not an animal. But
well, you're not an animal.
Well,
I'm gonna use this Glade Unstoppable plug-in container.
That'll do.
That'll do. So we are the Cool Nerd Weed Show. Thank you for going on that journey with us. Find us on all of the socials, especially YouTube. I'm really pushing our YouTube. We're gonna try to get Patreon content out there one day in this millennia. I promise we're going to do it. But for right now, Z's, go to our YouTube and look at our videos and our lovely faces. And you can also find us on Instagram, Cool Nerd Weed Show. And yeah, that's pretty much all of the things. And today we're a little bit all over the place. We're just gonna give you like some news, but we have like a typical Huff and Puff and like an interesting story about Oklahoma. Did you want to start with that, Oklahoma?
Yeah, let's start with Oklahoma.
So this is weird. So like Smokelahoma has been pretty like on top of things when it came to cannabis. Like driving through across the country, like immediately you see like mad dispensaries all over the interstate. Like it's just as soon as you get in, it's like you get the impression that it is a very cannabis friendly state. And I also heard that all the trap weed, all the illegal weed that you can buy in New York is from Oklahoma.
It's coming from Oklahoma. I heard some similar rumblings across the country from my cannabis peeps around the state. And Oklahoma, there's a lot going on. I've been getting a lot of my information from memes from regarding Oklahoma, and there's one that's going on around that I keep seeing, and it's "Don't California our Oklahoma."
Okay, so I mean, I gotta say, okay. So what does that mean? Tell me what that means.
Well, the way I see it is that they believe that California has fucked up their legalization, which to a point that is true.
That is true.
So
it's been a rough go of it.
Oklahoma's medical system seems to be fairly loose, a little bit cowboy like Prop 215 was here in California. Right. And we loved Prop 215 because it was a little bit loose and it was a little bit reckless, and it was
loosey-goosey, but it was safe access.
It was. That's the bottom line. There was safe access. And Cannabis was everywhere. So I think Oklahoma is feeling like, those multi-state operators are gonna start coming in, fuck up their whole medical program. Everybody's probably making money, like mad cash. The way I see it is there's probably like mad cash being made in the Oklahoma medical scene. And they don't want
So
that to go away.
so you think okay, so you're saying it's basically Oklahoma. They saw what happened in California. They saw the shit show that legalization was and how difficult it was to survive. And they said, no, spank you. We're staying medical. You don't think it had anything? Because I'm reading a stupid article from the Center Square, which I guess is an Oklahoma publication. And it's the governor, Kevin Sitt. I don't know if I like
Uh-huh.
this Kevin Sitt guy.
I don't
He's
think I like them.
saying, yeah, his story is that Oklahomans just don't want it. Like, they don't want to see a dispensary on every corner. They're tired of it, and they think legal weed's going to come in and fucking, kill their children and, take their dogs and kill their crops or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying the worst things that can happen in the world. Um, they're saying he's saying Oklahomans don't want it, but you don't think that that's true. You think it's more of like the
I
business side of things.
I think it's the business
Why
side.
would the
So
people vote it out?
the people, a lot of people voted. So voters overwhelmingly rejected recreational cannabis
Oh yeah, that's what we're
during the
talking about.
midterm
Sorry,
election.
I forgot to. I forgot to actually say what we're talking about.
Yes, yes. The
Governor,
the Oklahoma voters
Oklahoma.
rejected legal cannabis.
Oh man, I'm so bad at radio. Yeah, they rejected legal cannabis, which is crazy because a long time ago when I started talking about this, it's just you drive through that state and you truly feel like you're in, like, I thought it was recreational when I was driving through the first time. That's how many dispensaries you see.
For sure. I mean, it might as well be because you can get a 1-day doctor's recommendation, like right on the border of Texas and Oklahoma, and then shop for that day and drive right your ass back to Texas with all your flour, which is a lot
Right.
of what the, you know, if they were going to legalize for recreational use, they were expecting like mad revenue influx from Texas and surrounding states where cannabis is not legal.
For
But
sure.
Oklahoma has roughly 12,000 licensed businesses and almost 400,000
Wow.
enrolled medical patients in their program.
Damn.
12,000 licenses. That's a lot.
Wow.
The state's sort of small, but the population is centrally located in most of their major cities.
Yeah, for sure.
So, for the most part, so it's not that big of a state, but they have a lot of shops.
It's so interesting because, like, everything that you read, the fucking stupid ass GOP senators, and I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna like pull punches anymore. You fucking idiots. Um, um, these I don't care. Um, I'm cranky today, so I'm not gonna be nice to the Republicans. And they are all saying they're saying like it's a clear sign Oklahomans are not happy with the current medical marijuana program and they want it to be reformed. They're saying they're saying like driving through the state, you could just feel that Oklahomans don't want any more weed. There's already too much weed in Oklahoma. Um, I and Oklahoma Christians also are on this publication saying their their piece, and obviously marijuana is the devil's lettuce, as we know. So they're happy about it, but I, I I just am I don't know why I believe I think you're right in what you're saying, but is it because California didn't think we were going to fuck it up so bad? Is because it actually almost didn't pass Prop 64,
Yeah,
right?
Prop
Like, it was
64,
close.
it was close, and California voters rejected a previous legalization measure that was a ballot measure that was on the
Right.
bill, couple of years previous to that.
True.
So the proponents of legal cannabis in Oklahoma say that they're going to continue with this push, but I don't know what the vote. It was pretty. What was it, like close to 70% rejected?
It was
Did
61%, I believe.
Okay, so it was rejected by the majority, and did
More than that.
all of Oklahoma's Christian soldiers get out there and vote because they were disgusted with the state of cannabis?
Protect our
Possibly, I
kids
think
by
that's
voting
possible.
no on March 7th on state question 820. So yeah, it's safe to say the I think the Bible totings, the Ned Flanders of the state got out there and
Say no to
won.
Duberinos.
Say no to two what is it? Yeah, say no to two Marinos. Um but you may be right too. Like I'm sure you are. Like that plus, like the Christian warriors, and also the fact that medical weed is doing pretty well, and it's pretty easy to obtain, and it's pretty easy to like have your license and do all the things as a business owner, and legalization just tears down all of that, as we've seen, and it the chads come in and kind of take away all the stuff that you've worked for, and then you get multi-state distributors and growers, and that's a whole bullshit situation in and of itself. So I don't know, maybe it's okay. I mean, it just sucks because it's just like it feels like a step back. But maybe
It
they're, I mean, not that I don't think the whole, the GOP and the Bible people are right, but maybe the people who feel like they don't want a California or Oklahoma, maybe they're not wrong there.
it was probably a combination of the religious right and sort of in, informed Oklahoma pro cannabis voters that want to keep their medical system intact the way it is, because like I said, I mean, everybody's probably
Yeah.
making money hand over fist right now. It's only
Yeah.
this is crazy. There's well, the lawmakers implemented a 2-year moratorium last August, limiting new licenses because there's already a lot of business licenses, and they only cost $2,500, which is almost nothing
No.
compared to everywhere else in the world for cannabis licensing. So
I mean, that's definitely like a for profit. um and that's good, like those sorts of things were really taken away when we went legal in California, um because we really did have such a extensive medical program in place for even longer than Oklahoma has. I mean, they've only been legal medically since 2018, I think. So, California had it since like 2006. So, it, I get it. I get like that notion of like not wanting to chat up a good thing. But
California had medicals from 1996.
1996, yeah. What was 2006? Something, right?
2006 is around roughly the time where things really opened up in like in Los
Yeah, okay.
Angeles, like
That's when it went.
2004,
That's when it was a free
2006.
for all, right? Okay.
It just
Yeah. That
became,
was
yeah, that's when
before I was born.
Obama was elected,
Yeah.
and then he said, we'll let the states figure it out, and that's what we did. We just
Yeah.
Everybody got on board.
So, we have been doing it, and even so it was a little bit, I think, worse for California, just in terms of morale, when legalization kicked everybody out of the game. And Oklahoma saw that and said no, thank you. It just is a bad look because of all the religious people and Republicans who were like, yeah, weed is bad. And everybody said so. See, the whole population of Oklahoma doesn't like it. They don't like it. They don't want to see it. And that, I don't like that. So, in that, I will say, Oklahomans, get your shit together. But also, on the other hand, I say, good job for looking out for your bag and for the food on your table, because legalization, with regulation comes regulation, and that's a lot to deal with. So I like the Oklahoma business people who are trying to keep their shirts on, but I don't like the people who oppose it for moral reasons. They could suck a dick. That's offensive. They could stop doing that. Stop doing that. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Maybe we should take a break.
People making money, good. People people opposing cannabis for religious, moral reasons, bad. Suck a dick. So,
Oh my god. That's horrible.
so
I've
that's
been on the East Coast for a
that's where we're
while.
at. Yeah, driving around New
Yeah.
Jersey, telling everybody to suck it.
Suck it. No, but I do feel that way. So yeah, I don't know. Oklahoma, I would like you to get your shit together. Only because it is nice to be able to access weed. It is truly. And I say that coming from a legal state. So 2 legal states. So I would like it to be legal. And they even say all of the people, all of the lawmakers in these articles are saying also they are opposed for it in their state, but if the feds make it legal, they oppose it because of it's federally illegal. That's what they say. So, I mean, if you're taking their words at face value, feds change the law, then they will maybe be on board. Or, if they give it to states' rights, they'll say nay. But it seems like almost it's because it's federally illegal that they're opposing it as well. Not the Christians, the
The
politicians.
lawmakers, they're on board
Yeah.
with the federal government, all knowing. Even though most Republicans and GOP members claim that they want less government intrusion into our bodies and to ourselves and our rights as humans, but yet they continue to pass and support these laws that are exactly contradictory to their moral views and views of government.
Yeah, and what can they do? What can they do? They can suck a dick.
They can suck it.
Yeah, well, yes, Oklahoma, we can't clap for you, which we usually do, and good thing happens, so we won't. Get it together. I just tried to use my lighter as a mouse. I haven't been smoking a lot of weed. Like, I tried to use it to go to the commercial. I haven't been smoking a lot of weed. I'm taking, like, a mini tolerance break. So, like 2 or 3 puffs, and I'm telling senators to suck it. Wild. Wild, I tell you. You're drinking your drink?
I have been off the booze mostly, so I've been drinking this stuff.
Influencer hand. Beauty hand.
The raspberry
That's good. It's
Long
a good
Island
replacement.
iced tea. Oh yes,
That stuff
yes
is
it is.
good.
And it's got this bottle that reminds us of a hip flask. So I've got
It's a hip flask. I love it.
all the feels, 100 milligrams in here. I made myself a mocktail.
Ooh, I was wondering what you were drinking. That looks lovely. Cheers.
Just
I have my liquid IV. Delicious. How many milligrams is in there? 100?
There's 100 in the bottle. I can go through one of these like in a night is a good amount. Or we split one. We split one on the Super Bowl during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was really good.
Mixed tequila in. This is more of a mocktail.
Yes. Yeah, we did. I mean, we are famous for our delicious mixed drinks. We used to do that every week. We used to have a drink of the week. Remember?
Oh, that was so long ago. We did.
It was the old idobi radio studios that we used to do that.
Every week I'd find a new mixer and then create a cocktail live on air.
You would. We did that
Shaking,
for like 4 shows in a row.
Muddling, cutting limes.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. You had a whole setup. You had cutting limes. You brought a whole setup. Those were good.
Brought
Those
the
were
shakers.
Days. Yeah, I'll have to find the boomerang of you shaking something. Yeah, it was delicious. The pictures of me from that show day are very high. like extremely high that day.
We had
So
those
let's take a
sativa
break.
drinks, that cherry. It was like from Washington, that Washington cherry beverage.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wow, that was a long time ago. Okay, we're gonna reminisce and take a break, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna talk about Cocaine Bear. Kind of. We will be right back.
It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show with TS and Sasha. Don't panic. It's organic.
And we're back.
We're back.
We're back. Where'd you go? It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's yes.
Isn't that Sasha?
You did. I don't know why I'm calling it Cocaine Bear. That's just on my mind. You did see Cocaine Bear, right? You saw it. You
I
liked it.
did. I enjoyed Cocaine Bear.
But
Cocaine
now there's
Bear.
going to be a bunch of cocaine bears in Canada. I hope not. Don't they have bears up
This
there? I bet they have a bunch.
this is there's a lot of bears in Canada. Vancouver especially. This is crazy. 2 drug companies can
Yeah.
legally start selling cocaine, heroin, and MDMA.
Oh, that Molly.
So,
Interesting. And magic mushrooms, right?
and fungi, yes. So about a couple years ago, Canada sort of decriminalized drug possession. You're actually allowed,
I love
without
it.
fear of arrest, to have like 2.5 grams of cocaine, heroin, MDMA, mushrooms, just about anything.
Yeah.
Just it's kind of a different way of looking at the drug issue. It's kind of out of the box thinking. They seem to be doing all right. Apparently, one of the prime ministers was taken back and didn't really know that the health ministries of Canada was going to allow these 2 manufacturers to actually manufacture these drugs, and they're not really sure where they'll be actually able to distribute this cocaine and under what circumstances. Right now, this company is importing the coca leaves and they're making their cocaine to bring a safe drug supply to the global
Wow.
market.
This is fucking crazy.
Yes, it is.
I mean, what? So, okay, keep going. Yeah, keep going.
So
Sorry.
right now they can only sell to people that have a permit for like research purposes.
Okay.
But okay, so that's a good thing. We need to do research on psilocybin mushrooms, magic mushrooms as they're known. Apparently
Cocaine.
both cocaine and heroin do have medical value, as well as MDMA.
Well, MDMA, I totally would see. Cocaine they used to put in just fucking children's medicine back in the fucking day. So I mean that was like that.
Yeah,
that is true. I mean it's an antiseptic, I reckon.
the
I'm sure
painkiller.
there's it is that's what I'm saying. It's a numbing agent. It's funny because cocaine is a hell of a drug, and it's just funny to think of that way, but it's true. And heroin, I mean, it's an opioid, like it totally
Yeah.
it makes sense. Oxy is heroin, so I think it's funny we haven't pronounced any of the drugs correctly since we started this article. We are serious journalist podcasters. So what do you think before I give my long-winded opinion?
What do I think about this?
What do you
I
think about this?
would love to try some clean pharmaceutical grade cocaine. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Me too.
I would.
Listen,
You know
put
what?
the kids to bed. We're talking about cocaine. Look, I now on that front, here's the thing. you know, like Chris Rock had that whole special, say what you will, the the title was called Selective Outrage. And with drugs I have selective outrage, right? Like
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
also like to try some delicious clean cocaine that I know there's no bullshit in, or I know there's no fentanyl in it. I know, you know, I can do this, have a night out, fucking whatever the fuck I do with cocaine, or use it for whatever medicinal purposes I get prescribed in Canada, whatever it is. Sure. Heroin,
Yeah.
but
Probably
but
pass.
not for me. Never in 1,000 years, billion, infinity years. I'm not a heroin person. But I will say, on like a different note, I am for safe heroin being out in the streets. Can we get rid of all the heroin in the world? Wouldn't that be great? But we can't. There's going to be people who use. So wouldn't it be nice to know that they're not getting fucking, would you send me that link for tranquilizers in their
Oh, the trank?
heroin?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the
Yeah.
trank. Like there's so much going on in these drugs that harm reduction, and Canada knows. I mean, they know from harm reduction. They've been on that tip for quite some time, and it's worked for them. They've had safe supply
It
for
has.
many years.
Vancouver's
And it
had
and
Vancouver's had like safe injection site areas where people can shoot their drugs, get clean needles, make sure everything's clean, have antiseptic sprays and wipes. Also, they have medical nurses on standby to make sure that everything is you're still breathing before you go on your way. But the point is, you were safe. You were in a safe environment. You're going to do your drugs no matter what. Anyway, you
right.
might as well have a clean needle, clean rigs, and a safe environment. Also, with the medical staff, like I said, is there to make sure you don't fucking die. So harm
Right.
reduction,
There to
Canada's
make
way ahead
sure
of the
harm
curve.
reduction. Exactly. And it's, you know, it has been working out for them. They tend to have rehabs, rehabilitation centers very close by, if not like attached to a lot of these
True.
safe supply areas, just in case you wanna kick, then you can. So they're not promoting, and this is what bugs me about people who don't understand harm reduction. And they're mostly, I find in my life that I've seen, are people who are in recovery, and they didn't have harm reduction always. You know, this is kind of a new concept, especially here in the United States. But it is. It's a way to treat people who have addictions in a compassionate way, instead of looking at them like junkies. And I think, you know, what has the US learned from doing that? What do we have now? We have such a crisis. You look at California alone. I mean, I saw what I never thought I would see in like suburban areas of just people shooting up between their toes just passively in the middle of the day. There's problems in the US because I don't think there's been any safe supply. But I think a lot of people in recovery, or a lot of people who don't understand safe supply, think you have to go through some sort of, you know, like a low, like a you know, like an almost death, or like being out on the streets, you know, and not having help. They think you should have to go through that in order to kick or to stop using. And oftentimes all they need is some like compassion, and to do it on their own time, you know, like that. I feel like that's what Canada has found. So I trust them with drug regulation. Honestly, I do. I don't trust Canadians with a lot of things, but I trust them with I don't know why I said that, but I do trust them with this. You know what I'm screaming? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean they've had these policies in place. They've been doing harm reduction forever and ever, and especially in Vancouver, and it seems to be working. And I guess this is just the next phase, the next rollout of safe supply.
You're controlling your own supply.
Walk outside my door every day, and there's somebody that's like bent over, just in this position, and they're on that it's already here, we've been seeing it. I asked you, I was like, what the fuck is it that everybody's on that makes them like just stand there bent over at the waist for hours?
Yep. It's happening, and
It's
we were talking about
happening.
Kensington. It's happening everywhere. Like, it's happening in Philly. It's happening, in Illinois. Like, it's like, and I know we sound weird right now, but like the thing is that we also understand addiction. Like, I mean, like we were straight edge until we were 20, and then we weren't straight edge anymore. So like we know what it's like to need harm reduction and not shame, and not like to feel like subhuman. And I think that that's how we tend to treat people with addictions. It's rough. I'm not saying people with addictions are a walk in the park to be around, but like we have to start to treat them like people because they are. So I personally feel like that's, it's like a humanity issue for me, harm reduction. And if clean cocaine and heroin is going to do that, then it's just so daunting to hear. You know what I mean? Here, especially here in the US, you hear Canada has like legalized cocaine for distribution. And heroin too, especially with everything that we're talking about. So it's definitely like a forward. I'm curious to see. I don't think it's gonna like have people who didn't do cocaine before are gonna be like, I might as well try some legal cocaine. Like, people who were gonna do it, we're gonna do it. People who didn't do heroin before aren't gonna be like, you know what?
Oh, let me get
I'll go get myself.
nice kit,
You know what I
nice little
haven't tried
heroin
yet?
kit.
Yeah, nice little heroin kit, and go. Yeah, my Tommy's first heroin kit. It comes like pre-packed
Oh my god.
at the Canadian
Little
drugstores at
alcohol
a Tim Hortons.
swab,
Yeah.
little tourniquet, little Hello Kitty tourniquet.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen if you do safe supply. It will not. And
I wonder if
and we take we're go ahead, sorry.
I wonder if people are going to start screaming about our northern border being porous. Because think there's no wall along our northern border.
Yeah, but it's hard to get over the fucking Canadian border, man. Like, it's hard to get back and forth. It's not like
It's
back in
true.
the day
It's
where you
true.
could just like ride a bike over there. Like, it's like if you like it's hard to get in there, and then when you come back from there, like, Americans like really want to know what's going on. Like, I've heard a lot of people can't get back and forth as easily as it used to be. So
It used
I
to
think
be
they're on top
really
of it.
easy. All the
Yeah.
borders.
But I don't know. Who knows?
But
You're right. Maybe there'll be some worry about them coming in. We have plenty. We have more than enough here as it is. Like, we're good. But that's the thing. Like, a clean supply would make me feel better. Cause not even because I use any of it, because I would feel like the people who I see on the streets, if you get a bad batch of something, your chemistry is quite altered, and you're a danger to not only to yourself, to others around you. And stepping over bodies on the sidewalk is not fun. And while I'm not saying come and get your heroin and your cocaine here, you know what I mean? I'm not saying, I'm not happy that it's going to be out there so that it's for trial. I'm happy that it's going to be out there for the harm reduction aspect of it. Like, yes, we joke that we would like to try clean cocaine, but I would like my friends to stop dying from a accidental fentanyl overdose because they were out one and did it for the first time, because I know people who have friends who that happened to. So that's not some bullshit, and I would rather know. I would rather know. Including Molly. We haven't even mentioned Molly, MDMA. That has also been killing people. Bad
It has,
batches, rather, not Molly.
because of bad batches. Also, you don't even know if it's actually MDMA in your pills that you're getting. You can have them tested at your local raves. Do testing now. There's also a place somewhere around here in Hollywood that will test all your drugs for you on the spot.
Yeah.
And but man, a lot of
You can get those
MDMA
kits, too.
is a mix of
It's a cocktail.
whatever, heroin, methamphetamine, maybe a little fentanyl, whatever it is. You don't even know.
It's just a perfect cocktail of insanity. So, you want to know what's in there. And you really do. MDMA is a really, really good example of that. So many instances you hear of people at a rave, at a festival, and they get a bad batch or something that's not what they thought it was. And, you know, that shit fucks with your brain like eternally. So, like, it's good to be careful when you're consuming drugs. This We may be saying controversial things. I feel like more often than not, people do not dig harm reduction. They just want right out rehabilitation.
A lot of these people don't even think about rehabilitation. They just go straight for fucking prison time
And
and
yeah,
and and
who am I talking
incarceration,
to? Who are these
jail.
compassionate motherfuckers that I'm talking to? They don't exist. Nobody you're right. 100%. Like
It's
they
like
want them off the streets.
yeah, one-way ticket to fucking prison, and then you're just fucked once
For
you're in that
having
system.
an addiction. That's yeah, exactly. For drugs. Because it is such a bad fucking slope to be on. Being in the prison system for drugs, which is so many. The war on drugs, it's a class war and it's a race war. And I've said that for a long time. And I do believe that a harm reduction situation takes that element out of it. It takes that element out of it. I'm interested to see how it pans out for the Canadians. Is it going to be like
Yeah,
Cocaine Bear?
yeah.
Sorry, I
Which
had to
was
bring it back there.
that movie was amazing. Cocaine Bear.
It was so good. It
It
was
was
really, really,
fun.
really good. It was good
That's
fun. It was exactly what I wanted it to be.
It's based on a true story.
Tis, yeah. I don't know
And
how, obviously it was a little fictional at some point.
yeah, I don't know if the bear was eating full bricks of cocaine, but the bear did get into some cocaine and went a little fucking ape shit.
Went ape shit. Poor baby. Oh, sweet bear. What a sweetheart. Yeah, she was crazy. And it was good. The gore was really, really good. I was impressed.
It was. I could have done
You could,
with a
yeah,
little
I
bit
warned
less
you.
of baby bear cubs eating
Oh,
intestine.
they were so cute.
Like I could
They were
handle
really cute.
all the gore, and then little bear cubs eating intestine was that was I had enough.
I feel you. I loved it. I thought it was great. But I totally understand. Okay, we're gonna take a break. And just FYI, the Cool Nerd Weed Show doesn't want you to go out and do heavy drugs, okay? Unless they're clean. Don't do drugs.
Stick with the natural plants. Plant
I mean,
based.
everyone
Everything
comes from
comes from
poppies.
plants.
I know. You know what we're saying. You get it. You get it. You like the Cool Nerd Weed Show. You get it. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to talk about fentanyl when we come back.
Yay!
Oh my God, the show. We'll be right back.
The final Huff and Puff with TS and Sasha.
It's the final Huff and Puff with TS and Sasha. That's TS.
And that's Sasha.
I don't feel right when I don't say that's TS. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I can't start the break, But we are huffing. Today is a very strange show for sure. But we were going to talk about this last week and we didn't because we do feel like we talk about fentanyl a lot. And it's like, who wants to talk about fentanyl? Fucking sucks. So we didn't talk about it last week, but I saw it pop up and a few more things. And I just wanted to talk about it because we have to be clear here. So this mattered. What you say matters. You know what I mean? And this comes
True.
from what do you call it? Like Rochester, New York. So this is right here in the Hudson Valley. And I can't tell if this is like an editorial or fucking what. But it's about how 911 had to be called. Oh, it's Westchester. Westchester Westchester high school students had reactions to substances. Now, because of their reaction, I don't know what it was. Doesn't really say, but they thought it was
No, it's
fentanyl
unclear.
because everybody thinks everybody thinks everything's fucking fentanyl now. So they thought it was fentanyl. Apparently, it was not, according to this article. Allegedly, they're seeing kids get sick from taking too many edibles or vaping or dabbing, probably. And they're thinking they think it's fentanyl, but it's weed. So they're saying this. They're saying in New Rochelle, and this is really the one that I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? In New Rochelle, they're saying a student was administered Narcan, and they thought it was fentanyl, obviously, but it turned out the student had been vaping what they believed to be marijuana. So was it, or was it fucking stupid spice or whatever the fuck is killing people? So there's that. So it doesn't even confirm that it's weed there. And then they go on to give you like mad other examples of weed sending people to the hospital. And I know that opioids weren't found in the body, but it could be a number of other things, and kids could be taking edibles and also doing other things. You know what I mean? They could be taking edibles. They could be drinking. And if you drink too much and you take edibles as a fucking teenager, that's going to put you out. You're going to feel like shit and you're probably
For
going to
sure.
get sick. So you're probably going to throw up a lot and seem like you're, very ill. So, I mean, I'm speculating a lot, but I feel like this article is also speculating a lot. And I just want to, like, the main quote of the article is marijuana, not fentanyl. It's pot, not fentanyl. That's the drug threat to kids right now. And that's insane.
No, that's insane.
You can't say not fentanyl.
That's dangerous right there.
So dangerous.
Because you're automatically thinking that the cannabis is worse than fentanyl, which it's not. We know that.
It's not.
This article and this so-called doctor, and this is where I was when I was when you didn't see me at the beginning of the show. I was looking up. This doctor is calling cannabis a hallucinogen, and
yeah, there's that.
I looked up hallucinogens. Now they say that cannabis is reacts on your dopamine sensors in your brain, and you could kind of have some hallucinations, but it's not considered a hallucinogen like LSD. Eat enough mushrooms, ecstasy, cocaine is also considered a hallucinogen somehow. If you ingest enough of it, that shit would be crazy. Start having cocaine-induced hallucinations.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
but even calling cannabis a hallucinogen is sort of
dangerous.
false and dangerous.
Yeah, to put weed in these same categories just because your fucking kid got to the edibles is erroneous. Now, I will say, as I always say when I talk about weed, I'm not discounting cannabis hyperemesis syndrome. I'm not discounting actual, mental health reactions to weed, which could be severe if you already have a mental health condition. I'm not discounting actual cannabis adverse reactions because they are real. However, I'm here to fucking say, and I get what this article is saying. This article is saying fentanyl is more of a threat to adults. Weed is the threat to kids. I mean, how about nothing is a threat to kids if you don't let your kids take drugs? Like if you watch your kid and you know what your kid's doing, but that's not to say school doesn't play. This is all school stuff, and it's kids getting to the edibles, to their fucking parents' edibles, or the adults, bringing them to school, vaping. They're not going to a dispensary and buying it. You know what I mean? Or, I mean, maybe they're getting it on the streets, but like these are legal products that these people are complaining about. So they're clearly getting it from a dispensary. And the kid isn't getting it. So my point is that this to me reeks of the DARE program, and it reeks of the drug stigma at an early age. watch your fucking kids. Make sure they're not getting to the edibles. Like, full stop. And I'm
Education.
not
Educate
saying
your
that, like,
children.
right. Like, I'm not saying it's okay for kids to have weed. It's not. It's absolutely not okay for a kid to have weed. So if they're showing up in school with the edibles, why don't you not blame the weed? Why don't you blame the fucking adult that wasn't watching the kid take the. I couldn't touch my parents' fucking. First of all, I told you, my mom told me they had weed in the house, and I had no idea. It was hidden in like a special like double. Like she hid it in the wall. Like it was like I couldn't get to that shit, even if I was the nosiest, and I was. And I couldn't get to my mom's like alcohol and stuff. I couldn't drink like that. That's like my mom and dad were on top of that shit. Like so, I'm not judging parents who aren't able to be as on top either. Like I'm really not, but it kind of starts there. I think I feel like we shouldn't be blaming. We shouldn't be saying weed is a danger to kids. Yes, it is if they get to it, and they shouldn't. you know?
Yeah, keep most of the people that I know that have children and consume cannabis, they keep their stash in a safe, like literally locked in a safe.
It should not be anywhere where a child could even get in fucking
There's
spitting distance.
It's true. There's also the traditional market that
Yes, yes,
somebody
yes.
who's might be 18 can go shop, distribute to the
This
younger
is true.
younger kids. Also irresponsible.
Shouldn't be
You're getting
happening.
something on the traditional market. It may be. It's always the 600 milligram nerd ropes.
Right, right, totally.
So
Yeah,
maybe
the
that batch you actually got
650
600
milligram.
milligrams in that batch.
Right.
That is
That is
dangerous too
even the
for
pros.
young minds.
Even the pros can't do that. Yeah, I'm not saying if kids get their hands on trap drugs that it's anybody's fault or whatever. And I'm not saying it's not bad because it is. I just am saying that I guess like what they're doing here is replacing the um like not reefer madness, but like on Halloween when they're like fentanyl will be in your kids' Halloween candy, and
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
replaced. For a
The
while it
razor
was
blades.
THC gummies, and then before that it was razor blades. Exactly. Like so, I feel like this is just it was THC gummies for a while. Then it became fentanyl. I was kind of relieved that that took the pressure off of the THC gummies on Halloween. And then now I feel like they're being like, no, 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 that was too much. Let's go back to the more realistic thing to harp on and spew bullshit on. And that's, weed being the green monster that's going to come take our kids. And I just think that that is a weird hill to be on. I don't know. It all goes back to making drugs illegal. Like there's a stigma about illegal drugs and there's a stigma about weed that it is an illicit drug, and I don't know. I feel like this makes it worse. I guess. Am I saying words that make sense?
It does make it worse because somebody's going to click on this article and they're going to look at the headline. They're not even going to read it, even though this article's fucking bullshit. And it says marijuana, not fentanyl, is a drug threat to kids. And then that's it. That's all they're going to take away from this particular article, and it's dangerous. It's and scapegoats the trees
Right.
always scapegoating
Yeah, like
the
why are we
ganja.
taking the pressure off of fentanyl? Like why are we like it's not fentanyl? I mean, both can be true. It could also be fentanyl and weed. I don't know. There's just something about it that doesn't sit right to me.
People die every day, like every minute. I don't know what I saw, some number, like every minute there's fentanyl deaths in America happening. And
Yeah, these are like the effects of marijuana can last over 24 hours. Like the effects of fentanyl are forever because you're
are
dead.
forever.
Like it. So I don't know, man. It just doesn't sits with me all wrong. I tell you. Um, and that's our show. We're gonna end on that. We're gonna end on that. Fentanyl and weed should not be in the same sentence. That's the moral of the story, I think. And did you?
I
Were
agree.
you trying to think of something clever? Okay.
I was.
I thought so.
Did you see the smoke
It's okay.
coming out of my ears?
I did, and I agree. Was was a perfect thing to land on. Shit, I told bad senators to suck a dick before, so I think we're doing great. Follow us on all the things. Go to our YouTube and watch us be silly. And follow us on Instagram, Cool Nerd Weed Show. Reach out to us, DM us. We have a ton of info, a ton of like nuggets to give you of knowledge. And
Don't panic.
it's organic.
Yeah. We want to thank you so much for being a beautiful audience. Thank you very much. We'll be back real soon. Y'all take care and remember, unity forever, please.